Hello and welcome to the Strong, Healthy, Happy podcast. My name is Debra. I am your host. If you're here listening for the first time, this podcast is all about helping women feel stronger, healthier, and happier, reclaim their health, their energy, and their confidence. If you're a woman approaching 40, over 40, maybe perimenopausal, maybe going through menopause, and you need some good, honest advice that is easy to apply to your life, you are in the right place. And this is where I get to help you, the listener, with some honest advice that you can take away. You can take away one point, all the points, or you can choose not to take any. But I know that many women, when they reach over 40, especially approaching perimenopause or going through it, or after menopause, things can feel a lot harder. Maybe you have noticed that you've gained weight. You've tried so hard to lose weight, but nothing seems to work. And if you do lose weight, you tend to regain it again. You're feeling exhausted most of the time. You're not sleeping well. You may be juggling many roles and responsibilities. You're busy. You ask yourself, what's the point? Why am I bothering? Is it really worth it? And this is what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about why you should bother and why your health is worth the effort. And I'd even go as far as saying is why your health is worth fighting for. And that self-respect and caring for yourself is the key to long-lasting change. And I'm going to give you some helpful realizations, hopefully some light bulb moments, and just a bit of context about why things feel so hard, why you might be questioning yourself about what's the point, why bother, and give you a little bit of inspiration as to all the reasons why you should bother. So first of all, let's just acknowledge something important about why things, why everything feels so hard. And it's not about you not putting in enough effort. It's not about you trying hard enough. It's not about you not having enough willpower or you need more discipline. Things do get harder when we reach a certain stage of our life. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to accept, and it doesn't mean that we have to settle. And we can absolutely overcome these challenges when done from the right mindset and the right approach. But it's really important to acknowledge that it's not your lack of willpower, discipline, or trying hard enough. Your body is changing. The person you are today is not the person you were 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's not even the person perhaps you were 6 months ago, even 3 months ago. We are changing all the time as we enter different stages of our life. It's really important as well is that if you're approaching perimenopause, and maybe you don't even know that you're approaching perimenopause, your mood and energy is up and down, you can't kind of put your finger on why. You may very well be approaching perimenopause. Lowering levels of estrogen will affect your mood, your energy, and also put you at greater health risks like reduced bone density, cardiovascular diseases, and quality of life. So if you have any sort of concerns about where you are and how you're feeling day to day, please do seek advice. I'm obviously not a doctor. But along with fluctuating hormone levels, particularly estrogen, and even if you're on HRT, your hormones are never balanced exactly the same every day. They're going to be in a constant state of flux. This will affect the way that you feel, your mood, your energy, and your behaviours as a result of that. Your metabolism may be slowing. You may also be managing a lot of stress. Perhaps you're looking after elderly parents as well as your own family. You've got kids, you've got a job, you've got a life. You're managing just stresses day to day. Maybe you're even reaching a point in your career where you're having a little bit of burnout, questioning, do you want to continue down this path? So yes, life does get hard at this stage of life, but it doesn't mean that you're broken, and it certainly doesn't mean that you're beyond help. And often, like, women are told just to get on with things, aren't they? It does seem to be shifting and it does seem to be changing. But society often tells us that women need to accept things and just to settle. Or perhaps we're surrounded in our environment by friends who perhaps, are also in a similar stage of life. They've also gained weight. They're also kind of just getting on with it and accepting it. And, they're not even questioning why bother. They're just accepting this stage of life. And so it makes you question, why do I need to bother? They're not bothering. This is just normal. This is my normal environment. My friends are look and feel exactly the same way. We just have to get on with it. And it does make it really difficult. But what I want to say and reassure you with, that acceptance really doesn't have to mean giving up. And when you switch your approach from acceptance to recognizing where you currently are, in the stage of life that you are, and you stop hankering for who you used to be, how you used to look, how you used to do things, how you used to feel, and actually understand and recognize where you are, you will be able to make those small steps and move forwards in a way that feels less overwhelming, less like you've got a whole big mountain to climb. Also have much more realistic expectations, because we can't compare ourselves to anyone else. We can't compare ourselves to our past selves either. You are who you are right now. It's important to recognize that and to move forwards with a positive approach, much more of a positive mindset and recognition and acknowledgement to where you are now, have more clarity and take those steps forwards. Now, I want to talk about why you should bother, because, I get it. Shit's hard sometimes, right? And sometimes you are doing your best and you are trying really hard and you're not seeing the results from your efforts. Leaves you feeling really despondent. And often when we feel despondent, our instant reaction is to think, what's the point? I'm giving up. I'm not getting anywhere. I'm trying really hard. And I completely understand. And I don't blame you for wanting to give up. But I also want to really stress here the importance, place the importance about, it's not just about losing weight. Yes, a weight loss goal is important. Yes, weight loss will improve your health if your BMI is in the upper range. But the point of you being bothered is more about your health, your independence, and your future. It's not just about the number on the scale. It's about you reducing your risk for heart disease, type 2 diabetes, reducing your risk of bone mineral density loss. It's about you aging strong, being independent, taking the stairs, running after your grandkids, living without joint pain, back pain. It's about you carrying your groceries to and from the car. It's about you having more confidence, more energy, and knowing that your best days are not behind you, and instead that they're in front of you. You deserve to feel good in your body, not because you should, but because you can. And long-term health is going to be really, really important. I want to move on to, because this all kind of, trying to think of the word, this all contributes to my sort of summary and my final point about why you should be bothered and why there is every point, is I've talked about the importance of long-term health and that it's not just about weight loss. And you can absolutely combine the two, because you do the same thing for your health as you do for weight loss. But I want to really talk about here about your approach. And I talk about this a lot to my clients, and I talk about this a lot in previous podcast episodes. And it's about when you decide to make change, or that you want to lose weight and you want to improve your health. If it's coming from a negative place because you hate yourself, you want to hate yourself into change, you want to punish yourself for the way that you've, and this is not my language, this is language I hear from lovely women all the time. I've let myself go, and other terms that are really negative, because it's more than that. There is a bigger picture. We are in I'm 55. I'm in menopause, going through menopause. I've done the perimenopausal stage. I know how hard it can be during that stage. But if you want to make change and you're trying to make change from a place of shame and punishment and hating yourself, it's not going to lead to long-term sustainable change. To make long-term sustainable lifestyle change, it needs to come from a place of self-care, because you care about yourself and because you have enough respect for yourself to make those changes. And this is why I want to talk about self-respect. It sounds like self-respect. I feel like a head teacher talking to a room full of students about self-respect. And it feels like quite a stern use of language. But actually, if we soften it and talk about self-respect and how we often show respect to all the other people in our lives that we prioritize before ourselves, we do that for everybody else. But when it comes to showing that respect to ourselves, it's often either negligible, non-existent, or just not there. Like, it's not there at all. And to be able to make positive change, to be able to think about, I do want to bother and I want to bother for these reasons, it needs to come from a place of self-care, because you care about yourself and because you have enough respect to keep yourself going. Self-respect is you waking up and choosing to go out for that walk. You showing yourself self-respect is choosing to fuel your body with nutritious whole foods. You choosing self-respect is you prioritizing protein and high fiber foods like vegetables and fruit in your meals. Self-respect is going to do the exercise, the workout, whatever it might be, when you really don't want to, because you want to do it for yourself, because you want to improve your health. Self-respect is saying yes to what nourishes you in life. And when I say what nourishes you, I'm not just talking about food. I'm saying things in life that bring you joy, and saying no to anything that drains you or doesn't serve you or that you just don't want to do. Whether that's food, whether that's social occasions, whatever it might be. It could be alcohol, it could be sleep, it could be you setting stronger boundaries. Self-respect is about prioritizing yourself. And self-respect is about doing all the things that make you feel better. And sometimes those things that make us feel better aren't necessarily things that we always feel like doing, right? But when you do them because you care about yourself, it's a way of you getting started, as opposed to, looking at things like, oh, I need to walk, because walking is beneficial for your health, your metabolic health, your quality of life, your mood, your well-being, your emotional regulation. You may not feel like going for a walk. You may be super busy, but prioritizing that time for yourself, even 10 minutes, is going to have a huge impact on the way that you feel. And often when you do something positive and you feel good for it, it's going to have a knock-on effect to you doing other things that show yourself you care, that benefit your health. And because you're focusing on benefiting your health, you will achieve those the weight loss goal that you want. Self-respect is also, it's really important, is doing the things that no one sees. I know in today's world, everything we do, we share on social media. If you do a run, everybody bloody knows it. It's on Strava, you're doing a selfie, like me too. If I've done a workout, I'm sharing it. I want everyone to know I'm here. I've shown up for myself. I didn't want to get out my car to go into the gym. I nearly turned back home. This is a real story, actually, of myself this week. But I got myself out there because I have enough respect for myself, because I know that workout's going to benefit me. And it bloody did. I didn't want to do it, but I do it because I respect myself and I want to show up for myself. So focusing on prioritizing yourself, doing the things that make you feel better because you care about yourself, because you have enough self-respect for yourself. These are the reasons why you bother. These are the reasons why it's worth the effort. If you have gained weight, or you find yourself living in a body currently that you're not comfortable in, or your health has declined, you're less active, I really want to highlight here that it does not represent that you're a failure. It does not represent that you've given up on yourself, let yourself go, or any of those terminologies that you may refer to yourself or think about yourself. It's not a sign that you're weak. It's not a sign that you're lazy. It's not a sign that you don't have discipline, willpower, and you're not trying hard enough. Take it as a sign from your body that it's asking for attention. It's asking for self-care. It's asking for kindness. It's asking for self-respect. It's asking for you to prioritize you. And it's not asking for punishment or shame. It's asking you to give it attention. And this is where self-respect comes in. Self-respecting yourself means you stop seeing your body as a problem that you need to fix. And I know that it's really easy to do that. But you don't have a problem. Like, everything is changeable. Doesn't matter. Like, I often remind clients, like, if you've gained body fat, right? And this can happen for whatever reason. You've gained body fat. You are not fat. You have fat. And there's a difference between being something and having something. Having means it's changeable. And if you think of your body fat as stored energy, you can utilize those stores. It's just about, you have a bit of excess body fat. It's okay. It is changeable, and you can absolutely make change. So your body, stop seeing your body as a problem that you need to fix. Start treating it like something that's worth caring for. Showing up for yourself with compassion instead of criticism. Kindness instead of punishment. You have nothing to prove. And you just need to give yourself permission to matter again. And it's really important that you do this. And this is the point and why you want to feel bothered. And all the amazing feels that you're going to get as a result of that. And the better quality of life, the happiness that you feel, the steps that you're taking closer to your goal, the improved quality and longevity of your life. Because trust me, no one wants a long life if you've got no quality of life, if you have no independence, if you're at greater risk of falls, if you're weak. Like, you don't want that. You've lost muscle mass. Your bones are weak. You don't want that. You want to be in a really great place as you age. And these are the points why you want to feel bothered. You will have a better quality of life. Please remember that you don't need to do anything perfectly. I actively recommend to my clients not to be perfect. When someone has a perfect week, it makes me nervous because there's a flip side to perfection. And I just want women and my clients and all women to really just start being bothered, showing up for yourself, recognizing that you don't need to do things perfectly. You just need to take small steps, small actions each day that will help you to feel better. So if you've been wondering what's the point, why bother, I hope you can now better see the question as to, it's not about, the question isn't what's the point, why bother. The question I want you to ask yourself is, why not me? What would change if I did bother? Ask yourself those questions. I'm going to say them again. Why not you? And what would change if you did bother? How would you feel if you did bother? You are never too old. It is never too late. It's not menopause. It's not your stage of life. It's not trying to be who you were at 20. It isn't about you going back to a point in your life that you have happy memories of being or the weight you were. It's not about that. It's about you becoming the strongest, healthiest, happiest version of who you are now for your future self. Now, if this episode speaks to you or resonates with you, or you know someone who needs to hear this, please share the link to this podcast with them. Share me in your podcasts, share me in your WhatsApp groups. Share the link to this podcast episode. Share it on your social media. It's such an important message. And I know that so many women give themselves a hard time and are so hard on themselves. And really, it's about changing their mindset and, having that self-respect. So please subscribe or follow the show. Leave me a 5-star review because it goes a long way in bringing my attention to the attention of my podcast to other women who would benefit. Thank you so much for joining me. I will catch up with you on the next one. Have a great week, and I'll catch up with you soon.